Are you thinking about starting your own podcast? Don't know where to start? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to start a podcast. Let me tell you about it. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And best of all, it's free. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Just download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
So low self-esteem can negatively affect virtually every facet of your life, including your relationships, your job, and your health. But you can boost your self-esteem by taking cues from types of mental health counseling. So consider some steps that we have based on cognitive behavioral therapy. So Roxy, do you have any steps or tricks or anything to help boost your self-confidence?
Yeah, I do have a couple. The first one I would say is whenever I'm like feeling down or low about myself, the best thing that I can do is like get up, like take a shower, groom myself nicely, put on some makeup, some nice clothes. Even if I really don't have anywhere important to go that day, just getting up and dressing up makes me feel better about myself and boosts my self-esteem, my self-confidence.
I agree with that because I feel like, us being moms, we kind of come like secondhand to everything else that's going on in our lives and our kids' lives. So I'm the type of person that I need to always like be dressed, makeup, I like don't like to lounge around really. But it's nice to indulge in yourself every now and then, have like a little spa day or go get yourself some new clothes, spend some money on yourself instead of always on your children.
Yes. Getting my nails done, painting my nails will give me a little bit boost of self-confidence, and shaving my legs. Something about like the smooth feeling of your skin, like that really like gets me like in a good mood, you know?
Oh yeah. With that, these days I'm seeing a lot of like women not shaving, like legs, underarms, other areas. I'm not down with that, and I don't think Rob would be down with that either.
Well, I mean, on a normal day, you probably would catch me like with a little bit of leg hair, but what are you gonna do? You're a mom. You don't have time to shave on a daily basis sometimes, but going like that little extra mile though, like taking a bath or like a little bit of a longer shower and taking the time to shave, like it really makes you feel good about yourself when you're done. Like you're like, yeah, I can conquer the world. I got shaved legs and shaved armpits.
Well, I feel like they say, you can't like let anyone else or give yourself to anyone else until you fully love yourself. So I know this day and age, we're all about like empowering women to be like what you are and be accepted for who you are. Although some of the things we like say is acceptable, I don't necessarily think is acceptable, but to each its own.
Yeah, I think that goes with just everybody individually. What might be something to you important to you might not be for somebody else, but vice versa.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So what is something that you like to do to give yourself like instant boost of self-confidence?
Gotta think about that one.
How about like the like positive self-talk and not negative self-talk?
I try not to think negatively. I really like don't even have time to like really think about that. And I mean, like when I was younger, I used to be very self-conscious about like what I was wearing or my makeup or my hair or just like trying to fit in with all the other girls. But like now I just accept what I got and that's it. I'm not gonna really like put myself down for anything. I'm kind of okay with where I'm at. I mean, maybe I can like, lose some weight, but it's a work in progress. I'm working on that.
Yeah, I think that just talking positively to yourself. I mean, it might sound a little bit cliche and like weird, like positive affirmations in the mirror or something like that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But it's like looking in the mirror and thinking, man, like this outfit looks good or this color looks good on me. And not thinking, oh my God, this makes me look so fat or this makes my stomach poke out, you know, like focus on the positive things rather than the negative. So don't look at yourself in a negative light and don't talk about yourself in a negative light, because it's like the saying goes, like you're your own worst critic. You're also your own enemy. You know, you're looking at yourself and seeing all the negatives, but when other people look at you, that's not what they automatically think. They don't automatically think like, oh my God, look at that girl's like side fat on her armpits. Like nobody freaking cares about that, you know, but like you're self-conscious about it. So you're constantly thinking like everyone's looking at me because of that.
Well, I would really love to know what people actually think, because I can be really judgmental sometimes. Like for instance, today I was in ShopRite and this chick, I mean, I looked at her and I was like, whoa, girl, what are you wearing? Like, I mean, I guess more power to you if you feel comfortable wearing that, but I wouldn't be caught dead in something like what she was wearing. But yeah, I think just like you said, giving yourself positive affirmations, and like I could look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh, my makeup looks real good today, or my hair looks real good today, and it'll make you feel better. Or I just bought myself a whole new wardrobe and I haven't really bought clothes in many years. So it felt good that I got new clothes, new shoes, and everything I bought fit good and I liked everything. So that was nice, because I mean, back in the day, it could be like a real horror show trying on clothes, you know, and like especially finding something you like.
Yeah, definitely. I hate trying on clothes. That's one of the things that I don't like, but I'm trying to work on that. Trying to work on myself, making myself feel better, because I haven't really liked what I see in the mirror recently, you know, especially after having my third kid. It's like so hard to lose weight. But I'm trying to focus on the positive, you know, and not to let that necessarily affect the way that I feel about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, still am the same person inside. It's just not reflecting on the outside right now. So it'll
maybe you got to do what I do. I don't have a full length mirror in this house. Maybe that helps.
I have a full length mirror inside my room.
I mean, I wish I had one, but maybe I don't. I don't know.
Well, it helps though, because like it helps me see like, all right, like I'm getting out of control. I need to control myself a little bit. It helps a little.
I mean, like I'm real crazy with weighing myself. I weigh myself every single day. And I'm like nowhere near where I was like at my highest weight. But I can also tell just by like the way my clothes fit, or like my stomach usually gets bigger, you know, and I could tell when I'm like, all right, you need to slow down and no more junk food or whatever the hell I've been doing to myself.
So I've been on a diet for this last week and a half, and I try not to weigh myself every day like that because it drives me insane. I've done it in the past and it's just like insane because you fluctuate on a daily basis and it's not healthy for you to do that. So I stopped that. I like kind of put the scale away for now, and I'm doing it only once a week. So I haven't weighed myself yet for this week. But I can tell already that like my clothes are fitting better. My pants aren't as tight as they used to be. And so even though it's not like a whole, like nobody else is going to notice a difference, but I notice it, and it makes me feel better knowing that I'm going down instead of continuing to go up on the scale. And also I've been trying to exercise more, just doing basic stuff like speed walking around the block after dinner, or like after I put the kids to bed, I'll just go before it gets dark. And like that feeling, that sweat, and like that feeling of just getting energy out and stuff like that, that really boosts my self-confidence too. It makes me feel accomplished. Like I did something today, like to benefit me. And that's something that I like to do for like an immediate boost of self-confidence.
And I felt like my metabolism was just like constantly going because I did run. Like I was running like 3 miles a day, 4 to 5 times a week. So that's a lot. I mean, I can't run anymore because my feet kill me. But I know that when school ends, I want to start going with Lacey on walks, and even like the whole family, like maybe at night sometimes taking some walks just to like get myself moving around. I mean, shopping for people all day long is definitely a workout, but it's like, you know, when you have a job, it's like a workout at first, but then it just becomes normal behavior. Well, we're going back to like weighing yourself. When I was doing like hardcore keto diet, I weighed myself every single day. And then I took an average at the end of the week of the weights that I took every single day. And I kept that log for a good like 3 months. This was during like quarantine and stuff. And that way I could see like where I started and where I ended up. And I dropped a good like 30 pounds. I'm not so crazy with the keto now. I don't want to like really say I'm on a keto diet. I'm more like just on a low carb diet.
Yeah, I had a lot of success with the keto in the past, so I'm giving it a go again. Let's see if it works. You know, I have been doing it on and off, but it doesn't work if you don't stay on it completely. So I'm sticking to my guns this time because I'm more so doing it for my health than anything this time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I just found out that like I struggle with high blood pressure, and it's most likely hereditary from my dad. And I'm hoping that by losing some weight and adopting a more healthier lifestyle that I won't have to be put on medications, because I'm only 35. I don't want to be on medications for the rest of my life at 35, you know, especially if it's something that naturally.
But I feel like a keto or low carb diet will help you feel better and give you some more self-confidence, because after a few days, those cravings of the sugar and the bad food go away, and you don't get sugar crashes and things like that. So, you know, it becomes like normal to eat these foods, and you realize those bad foods like fast food, sugar, high carb things, all it does is make you just like lethargic and lazy. You know, you don't want to do anything. You just want to eat more of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely noticed that, especially in the last week and a half that I've been like strictly hardcore keto. I had to have lost some weight already because I feel lighter, I look lighter, my clothes are fitting looser. So like I know I definitely something's going on. But even without that, it regulates your hormones, which I noticed right away. And that's probably why every time I do the keto diet, I've already ended up pregnant twice. Let's not let that happen again. But you know, it really does regulate your hormones, but it also boosts your mood, which also boosts your self-confidence, because when you feel happier just by eating better, like that's a no-brainer. Like why wouldn't you, you know? And when you're happier, your self-confidence boosts.
Yeah. Another thing that I've been trying to do to help like with my self-confidence and boosting myself to make myself feel better is just drinking more water. Like I know that sounds like cliche, whatever, but the more water you drink, like the better you're gonna feel. So then I feel like that's gonna affect your mental state of mind. You know, it's just gonna make you feel happier because you feel good inside.
Yes. And also something you can do is act on your thinking, on your positive thinking. So like, don't just think about positive things, but actually act on them. Because when you do positive things and you're kind and you're generous to people and you help other people, that boosts your self-esteem too. If you think about like something that makes you happy, like go and do it. Don't just think about it. Like go actually do it, you know? Like, oh, like I wish I was on the beach now. That would make me so happy. Just go to the beach. go take like a day. Why not?
I feel like we live in like a very judgmental society these days, and like whatever you are thinking and feeling, you may like second guess because of what like these Instagrammers are showing you and what they're doing. And you know, it may not be what you want to do or what you want to say, but I think everybody needs to listen to their own thoughts. And if that's what makes you happy, then do it. Why hold back? You only live once, you know? So do what makes you happy. And I regret a lot of things in life that I didn't do because I was afraid or whatever. Like I have mentality now, you know, like big risk, big reward. So now that I'm getting older, I can't necessarily do the things that I did want to do when I was younger.
Yeah, definitely. I think you learn a lot. Even within like the 10 years between your 20s and 30s, you learn so much. I feel like your 20s is basically your time to learn how to like live life without your parents always intervening in, you know?
I feel like that's like your experimental stage, you know,
Yeah.
in every aspect.
Well, I feel like I was a pretty confident person in high school, but you can never really be fully confident when you're in high school. Like there's always someone you're comparing yourself to, which is another thing. You should never compare yourself to anyone else. But I feel like
Yeah.
once I got to my 20s and I didn't have that like constant comparison to somebody else all the time in my life, like you really start learning who you are, what you like, what your hobbies are, and things like that. I think that like becoming like your own entity, your own person, and learning on your own without like all your friends being in groups and stuff like that. I think that you learn a lot of self-confidence that way.
Yeah, I think it's all about like who you surround yourself with because, you know, like they say, misery loves company. So if you're going to surround yourself with a lot of negative people, then you're probably going to be a negative person also. But if you surround yourself with positivity, then you'll most likely be positive too. I like to have that theory when it comes to like money. Like, you know, if you have a lot of friends that are rich, you will most likely follow in that footstep, you know, or if you're going to hang around with a bunch of people that don't have money, then you're going to be the same way as them and have the same outcome. So I really think it's definitely who you surround yourself with. I know, like, you know, Rob's always telling me like positive things. Oh, you're beautiful or whatever, you know, just always saying nice things to me. And it's nice to hear those things, you know, because you may not necessarily believe them yourself.
I find that doing things that I enjoy doing, like for me, gardening is something that I really enjoy doing. Like I was telling you today, like I could literally talk all day about gardening and like it makes me feel good to be able to say like I grew this and I get like my own vegetables from it or like beautiful flowers or like I was able to nurse this plant back to life. Like doing those kind of things to me, they make me feel good. Like I'm like, yeah, I did that, you know? So those things boost my self-confidence.
I mean, I don't have green thumbs, so I can't say the same about that. But I like being like the caregiver, the nurturer in the family. Like it makes me feel good, like to, you know, make the kids their lunch, make dinner, and have it ready for like when Rob gets home and just make sure like everything on the home front is taken care of. I mean, I don't necessarily like cleaning or, you know, doing laundry, whatever, but I know that like I'm pretty good at it. So I'm good at making everything in the home clean and food ready on the table and shopping and like just something that Rob doesn't have to even think about or worry about. I just like take care of that.
That's a good one. I don't necessarily like to like clean and cook and all that. Like I do more out of necessity because I know if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And my family, I won't allow my family to live in a messy house and eat fast food every night. But it does make me feel really good and accomplished when I do clean the house and I have like a nice clean house to sit in, or like I make food and everybody enjoys the meal, you know, those types of things. Yeah, like they make me feel good, but if they don't, it doesn't necessarily put me in a bad mood, but it's always better when everybody enjoys themselves.
Yeah. I also enjoy baking, and during quarantine I had quarantine Sundays or quarantine carb Sunday. That's what it was, because we weren't eating carbs, but on Sundays we would. But every Sunday I would make a new dessert or a bread or like something along with like a homemade, like from scratch dinner. And, you know, I went to baking school, so I learned like the basic skills. And from there, I went and just made all these crazy things. Like I was making pies and breads and cookies and cakes and like any kind of dessert you can think of. I made something different every single week. And like I would ask Rob to like, what do you want for dinner? You know, like tell me something. Like one day he wanted like chicken dumpling soup, and I had never made that before, so I made that. I made Chinese food from scratch. Like I made the dough for the dumplings, I stuffed it and all that. And I like making things from scratch. Like, and I have I have a cookie company that I haven't really done much with lately, but my whole basis of the cookie company was that everything was made to order, made from scratch. There was no like, I'm not buying a tub of cookie dough from the store, I'm making it from scratch. And I just like that I was able to, you know, pass along the goods to the family and stuff, and everybody like always raved about how good it was. So I mean, when Rob first met me, the best thing I could probably make was like mac and cheese from a box, you know. Like you're really young. And like, oh my God, I remember one time I made brownies and I think I accidentally put like oil in them instead of whatever else it was supposed to be. It was the nastiest, like hardest, dense freaking brownie you've ever had in your life. Disgusting. So I've come a long way. And I mean, Rob can cook also, but I would prefer him to stay out of the kitchen because it always becomes like a 72 pot dinner and then I have to clean it.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why men are really when it comes to that. It's like they have to dirty everything in the kitchen. I'd love to find out from experience because Martin has yet to cook me a meal except eggs. He cooks eggs. That's it.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Come on, it's been 18 years. He hasn't cooked you one meal?
Let me think. Has he ever cooked me one meal? I really have to think hard on this.
Well, I think that's got to be his next thing. He needs to make you a 4-course meal.
Yeah. He won't even grill. His excuse is I don't know how to.
Really?
That's not an excuse. I was like, you learn when I don't know how to do something, guess what? I look it up on the internet and I learn and I do it. Like,
yeah.
To say I don't know how to do it, so I'm never gonna do it. Like, no, that's the difference between me and him. He's gonna wait until something's for him, and I'm gonna take action.
Yeah. See, like that's Rob's forte. He's the grilling person in the family. Like we had cheddar wurst tonight for dinner, and he went outside and he grilled them on the barbecue. Like I don't want nothing to do with the barbecue. It's not my thing. I just like. I'm not into it.
Something else you can do to boost your confidence would be like setting goals, like setting yourself small, achievable goals, and then just going for it and knocking them like off your list. You know, I am like a big list. So if I have something to do or something that I want to do, I always write it down. And then like I'll write down the steps to get there. That's just me. I like to cross things off my list. It makes me feel like I accomplished, like I did something, and that boosts my self-confidence. But also like doing something, especially doing something that you've been like procrastinating on, you know, like probably like, okay, like the laundry. Like I hate doing the laundry. Procrastinating on that.
Yes. I really hate doing the laundry too, but I've had to force myself to do it every like weekend because the kids have uniforms for school. And if I don't wash their uniforms, they're not going to be able to go to school. So it like forces me to have to do the laundry. And I try to like get it down. So like there's one bucket to do out of like the 5 buckets we have. Like we said before, you know, like make like a bucket list for yourself and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. If your goal is to go travel the world, then who's stopping you? go travel the world. Like I say this to Rob all the time. He always tells me he's like too old to do things. And like the other day I said, you know, did you know that Vera Wang didn't start her company until she was 40 years old? And now she's like 72 and a multimillionaire. So I don't feel that age has anything to do with you doing the things that you want in life.
A good point. It's a really good point. You know, like most of the people that got like rich and famous, started their own companies, they really didn't get started till they were middle-aged either. So I guess it's like you reach that point in your life where you're like tired of working for like the man and making no money, when you're just like, that's it, like you're motivated to just go out there and do it yourself. Like, heck yeah, like I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna let anyone else tell me what to do.
Well, that's where like me and Rob are at right now. We own our own business. So we know what it's like to work for ourselves. And I could never go back to that corporate mentality. Like I always say, I do Instacart while the kids are in school, but that's like, I don't own Instacart, you know, but I work for myself. I make the hours. I accept what orders I want to do and what orders I don't want to do. So it's basically my own company, if you will. They just, you know, pay me for doing what I want to do. And I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to answer to anybody. It's basically your own boss, pretty much.
I know something that I have been working towards is, well, one is my weight loss, because I feel like it's been such a long time since I was at my goal weight that like now that I'm done having kids, I feel like now it's time to focus on me. So I'm doing that. Like my goal weight, you know, it seems like so daunting. I want to lose 50 pounds. But like when I think about it like that, it's like, oh my God, like how am I ever going to lose 50 pounds, you know? But I'm trying to look at it in small goals. So like, let's start with 5 pounds. And then once we get to 5 pounds, we'll go to 10 pounds and keep going. So that's one way that I'm trying to do small goals. So I'm not trying to like celebrate when I get to 50. I'm trying to celebrate the small steps along the way. So like, hey, when I lose 5 pounds, I'll buy myself a new shirt or something, you know, that'll boost my self-confidence. I think buying new clothes always boosts my self-confidence. When you feel good and you look good, you know, makes you feel good.
Well, I really think too that the internet can really like destroy somebody's self-confidence and self-esteem. I feel like the younger generation, they like are always trying to like, how can I go viral so I can make that money? Or how can I be an Instagrammer so I can make that money? It's always about the money. And like they have people like, for instance, the Kardashians or Kylie Jenner. She's a billionaire, but she's not a self-made billionaire. She was born into money. So she had access to start that company and become a billionaire easier than me and you would.
Yeah. I actually saw I don't know if you want to call it a meme or something on the internet going around this week about Kylie Jenner, and it shows her, and then it shows, or is it Kendall, the supermodel one, whoever that is that Kendall? Okay, so Kendall Jenner, like this next to nothing swimsuit that like barely covered her, like, you know, whatchamacallits. And then side by side with a picture of the youngest astronaut that has ever made it through the NASA program. And I think she was like 16 or 17 when she did it. And they're saying like, everybody knows this person over here, saying Kendall, but nobody knows this girl over here. And they're like saying like, these are the girls that the media is trying to make our children and our girls look up to, when they literally have nothing but a nice body. Like that's all they have going for them. And we all know where that's going to head eventually, you know, everything starts going down. But you know, that's the girl that we should be looking up to, because she actually has a set of brains between.
Right, exactly. Also, the kind of opposite of that is the people that glorify. Do you know who Lizzo is? The rapper Lizzo?
No, I'm really out of touch with rappers.
Well, look her up online. She's a plus size girl, so she's got to be like 250 plus pounds.
Okay.
And she posted herself in bikinis and crop tops and things like that. So I think society is a little skewed in ways because that's acceptable. And they're making that acceptable to be obese. But the opposite effect is you see somebody like Kendall Jenner or somebody that's skinny, that's not acceptable. You're going to call them anorexic, but you're going to glorify the overweight chick because you can't say anything, and you know, we're empowering women, you know? So I feel like the internet definitely has skewed everybody's perception of self-confidence and what that looks like, because you're looking at these people that are not real. This is not reality. And like I said before, they're not self-made millionaires. They grew up in money. And when you grow up in money, you have more advantages than people that don't have money. You know, if you look at a picture of Kylie Jenner 10 years ago, and you look at her now, fake lips, fake boob, fake ass, fake everything. She looks nothing like she did before.
She also looks completely different without makeup on. Like when she has a bare face, makeup can do wonders if you know how to apply it properly. You know, like I don't know how to apply makeup that well. I wish I did. It would make me look like I was like 10 again.
Yeah, me either. But also, you know, again, I feel like that skews the self-confidence, because you're going to put all this makeup on your face, you're going to suck it in with some Spanx and stuff, and then when you meet a guy, he's going to see you in reality and what you look like without makeup, without the Spanx, without all these things that are helping you. He's going to be like, whoa, you're a totally different person. Actually, Rob showed me something the other day of this chick that like really knows how to do makeup. And I mean, her without makeup to her with makeup, the girl with makeup's like a supermodel. The girl without makeup is like a no-tooth, like woman that's wrinkly and I guess ugly. I don't know. But like I said, I just think that maybe now these younger generation have a skewed reality, and it makes their self-confidence worse. So
100%. I think that social media is like the death of being social. Number one, there's nothing social about social media. It divides people, it separates people, it makes people feel worth, it brings down their self-esteem. I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. Like the constantly comparing yourself to somebody else, like I was saying, like what we do in high school, we didn't have all this social media in high school, really. Like that was all just starting out. So we were kind of lucky in that sense, but we still compared ourselves to our friends, to the most popular girls in school. Like I remember there was this one girl who always did her makeup in class, and I used to love the way she did her makeup. I used to like aspire to do my makeup like her, you know? Like now there's so many things out there on the internet. Like these kids don't even know who to look up to anymore, because there's just so many people, so many influencers, and you really don't know what anyone's like real life, because this is not real life. This is just God they put up for the camera. It's not like we're talking really candidly here. Like I feel like if you listen to us, you kind of like get to know us listening to us, just because we don't like share things. We're like, yeah, like we're ugly, whatever, we love it.
Exactly. But like, you know, going back to like the Kardashians, for instance, Khloe Kardashian recently had a picture of herself in a bikini posted that she didn't consent to that picture being put out on the internet, I guess because it wasn't photoshopped. That's another thing that drives me crazy. It's the Photoshop. These young girls are looking at these reality stars, these Instagrammers, and everything is Photoshop. So that's not real. And you see some of these people that can show you how to like certain poses or to make yourself look like you have a flat stomach or whatever. But she went and posted this big like post about how she wasn't comfortable with that picture being out, and we need to love ourselves and love our bodies and things like that. So if that's what you're saying and you're supposed to be a role model, then why didn't you leave that picture up for everybody to see? So all the other pictures you put up, if it's not nipped and tucked, you're not okay with that and you don't want that to be out. So when I see you in real life, if I ever do see you, run into you, I'm going to be like, whoa, what am I looking at? It's like not the same person.
Yeah, you can do that. Even like just nobodies like me and you. They have so many apps out there that you can take a picture and make yourself look completely different. Like not only the filters, which is one thing, like you put a filter on and you can make yourself look like a supermodel without even wearing any makeup, which is kind of freaky to me that it can actually like do that. But not only that, but there's apps that you can make like your ass bigger and your stomach smaller and your boobs bigger. And it's like weird to me because I'm like, why would we want to change the way we look? This is not the real us. Like, I don't know. See, things like that, they don't boost my self-confidence doing things like that.
Oh, no, me either. But it's funny, me and Rob always like when we look at certain people, we're like, she looks exactly like Kylie Jenner. She looks exactly like the Kardashians. They must go to the Kardashians' doctor,
Well, it's like people want likes, right? Because that's what boosts their self-confidence these days. Like, oh, well, we all are striving to get those likes right now, right? But if you put a picture up full of filters and you're changing the way you look, how does that make you feel good about yourself? Like that's not even the real you. People are liking the version of you that you're putting out there. That's not the real you. Like if I put a video out of or a picture out of myself like being completely natural and people like that will boost my self-confidence more than a made-up picture that's fake and doesn't look like me.
And like I feel like these people that have these platforms that have millions of followers, they're not making it so you can live in a normal life. That's not a good role model. Somebody that's a good role model is going to show you everything, without the face and the overlined lips and the eyebrows and the fake lashes and like I like to get my nails done. I have long nails, but they're my nails. They're not fake.
Yeah. I don't like to get fake nails. I like to be really natural with everything. I don't dye my hair. I don't wear makeup most of the time. Yeah. I paint my own nails. I never get them done. I definitely don't Photoshop my pictures. I don't even take like Tylenol when I have a headache because I like to be as natural as possible. So that's something that I pride myself on. That's something that like I'm proud of that. So I'm able to like say that out loud and like mean it. That boosts my self-confidence too, because when people are like, oh, like I got a boob job, I'll be like, well, I didn't. Like I like that I'm able to say that. I'm not saying like don't get your boobs on if that makes you feels good. Like whatever. Like I don't care what you do to your body, but I don't know. It's something that
that's what I think. Like when you finally realize these things, hopefully you realize them at a younger age, that all these things that you think are making you feel better really aren't. And when you actually accept yourself for who you are, that's when you're going to feel better about yourself and have self-confidence. And it's got nothing to do with having a husband or a boyfriend. Like Rob tells me all the time, I like you better without makeup. I don't necessarily like to wear my hair up. I wear my hair up like at night. And he's like, I love it when you wear your hair up. It looks great. Like, I don't necessarily always feel confident wearing my hair up, but, just like things like that. Like, I feel like a lot of these people are doing these things to take attention, to get a boyfriend, to get a husband, but that's not the right way to do it. And that's not what a man is going to want.
No. Men are attracted to confidence more than looks, and it's already been proven in multiple studies over the years. Like, if you have a really, like, pretty girl, but she's not confident in herself, guys are not going to be attracted to that for very long. Like, yeah, you might be something nice to look at for a minute, but once they start getting to know you and they see that they like, it takes a lot of work to be in a relationship to constantly be boosting the other person up all the time. And really, like, I can't really say, I might know a little bit from experience because we've been together for so long that we've been through like pretty much every scenario like a couple can go through, I feel like.
Yeah.
But like there's always going to be days where like your partner's feeling down and stuff like that. But if you are mostly confident like in yourself all the time, like it makes your relationship just go smoother, in my opinion, because you don't have to constantly be making the other person feel good or worrying about, oh my God, are they going to take what I said like personally? Like, you know, is this going to make them feel bad? No, you're confident in yourself. So what they say doesn't have any effect on you.
Yeah. Well, there's a quote from one of my favorite movies from Clueless when she says that she's a full-on Monet. And, you know, from far away, it looks great, but up close, it's just a big old mess.
Yeah.
So you want to look far away and up close.
Right.
And you know, I was always self-conscious about my weight, and that really like I felt like deterred me from being like more social and more outgoing, because I felt like, okay, well, I'm surrounded by all these skinny girls, so like the guys are gonna want to talk to them, they're not gonna want to talk to me. But you know, I eventually got over that. Me and Rob have been together for 15 years, so obviously he likes what I got going on, you know. And, you know, like I said before, I don't necessarily agree with glorifying overweight people, because we don't glorify anorexic people. I think that's a health concern. But I also think that just because you are overweight doesn't mean that you can't find yourself a boyfriend or a husband.
I agree with that. There have been times where I was thin and really had no self-confidence. Even like being skinny does not automatically give you self-confidence. It doesn't work like that. Self-confidence comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are. It comes from knowing what you think is right, what you think is wrong. No matter what other people say, you still stick up for what your values are. It is.
Yeah, I wish I would have learned that earlier on in life, because I always thought that, well, if I was just skinny, I would be more liked by people. But that's not the case. Like, I feel like guys don't necessarily even look at things like that. Like, yeah, they'll have a type, you know, or whatever. But like to them, in the long run, when you're in a long-term relationship, as we both are, you know, 15 years, 18 years, it's not about the looks anymore. It's about your self-confidence, and, you know, and it's about like other things like that that make your relationship successful. And if you're going to constantly be insecure and have that self-confidence, then that could actually drive that guy away.
Yeah. You know, for me, I never really looked at guys that way. Like the hottest guy, oh my God, he's so freaking hot. Like, oh, I need to be with him. Like, I was never like that. I was always like, well, yeah, he's cute, but like, what else does he have? But if he was confident, like that's one of the things I really loved about Martin at first. Like, he was just so confident in himself. And I was just like, I want that kind of confidence, you know, because I didn't have that kind of confidence at first, you know? So that's like something that drew me to. But like, okay, like
confidence is sexy.
He's good looking to me, but I'm saying like, even if the guy you're with is not the best looking guy, if he's confident in himself, that like boosts him up like an extra 10 points. You know what I mean? And makes him more good looking than he is.
Yeah.
His personality is great and he's confident, and you don't have to work as hard at the relationship, like always boosting them up. Like I said before.
Yeah. Nobody wants a wallflower. You know, you got to have a personality. You got to like what you're putting out there. It can't just all be fake.
And something else that's overlooked, when you're self-confident, like really, you're more optimistic about things. You're more optimistic about life. You're more optimistic about like pretty much everything, because like you're happier overall and you're thinking more positively. Like when you have low self-confidence, you see everything in the negative light, and you're pessimistic. Like you always see the glass half empty.
Right. Well, yeah, like I said, I don't really think about like negative things that I say to myself, because I don't really say many negative things. I mean, like, yeah, like I said, I'm trying to work on my weight loss, but I know that that's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. But that's like the one thing that I struggle with, but that's not keeping me from, not having a personality or like shutting my husband away or whatever.
See, self-confidence is something that I have struggled with in the past. I think that I really struggled with it after I had Julie, because I had never been that weight before. And I feel like a lot of my confidence was based around my looks, which I know now is really silly. Like I've learned that along the way. But like I've always had like, like my looks, you know what I mean? So like when I didn't have that anymore, it really like was like a punch to the gut. You know what I mean? I was like, even though probably other people didn't see me that way, I saw myself that way. And just like not knowing who I was anymore, because now I'm like somebody's mother. It's like I lost myself, So I feel like during that time, I was really struggling with some self-confidence issues. But, it's been almost 10 years later now, and I've learned a lot along the way. Like, I'm still an awesome person, and I still find things that I love to do. And it's not, I guess, like, maybe I've gotten more comfortable, like, now with myself and my body and everything. So it's not as, like, shocking when I see myself now. It's like,
yeah. And I also think that like if you're around people that don't like you for you and constantly put you down and make you feel bad, you need to drop those people like a bad habit. They're not your friend, they're not your boyfriend, they're not your husband. Somebody like that is not going to be somebody that's going to be beneficial to your life.
Yeah, but also I feel like also it could go the other way. Like even if when people are constantly telling you like good things about yourself, you need to believe them in order to feel like that, because you can just be like, no, you're just saying that. You're just being nice. You need to be able to like accept the compliments that are being given and be like, you know what? You're right. Like I am pretty. Like, thank you. Like not just be like, if somebody says you have nice hair, be like, oh, I hate my hair. Like, no, like say thank you. Oh my God, like that's so nice of you. I do have nice hair. You're right. Like accept the compliment. Don't just like reject it.
Right. But I also feel like there could be like overconfident people, and that just comes off as being arrogant. And I mean,
there's always extremes. So there are always extremes in every situation. You have to find the happy medium in the middle.
But I think if you love yourself and you're happy with who you are, then that's all you need in life.
I think it all comes down to knowing who you are and knowing your values and standing on them, standing firm on them.
And appreciate what you do have, because, you could have been somebody that was born without a face or born with one arm or, these things that isn't necessarily accepted in society, or you could have something happen to you where you have a tragedy and now you don't have an arm or now you don't have a leg, and you have to accept that. And that
happened to one of my family members. It's really funny. It's funny how life works, because like, okay, one of my family members got into this tragic accident and he ended up losing one of his arms. And but hey, he's still alive, right? He still has his life, but he's a single guy. So he was worried, like, oh my God, like nobody loved me with two arms. Who's gonna love me with one arm? And I was like telling him, like, shut up. I don't ever want to hear you say that ever again. I was like, first of all, you are badass even though you don't have a freaking arm, like you survived, you're alive, you're here, and you have a story to tell now. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, there are so many girls that are going to think that that's sexy. You know what I mean? And guess what? He's got a girlfriend right now.
See, so it's like, it doesn't matter what you got going on. Somebody's going to love you for you. Like that happened to Rob's friend. He lost his leg in a motorcycle accident, and they had him like drugged up and in an induced coma for a while. And when he came out of the coma, he was like, why did you kill me? I didn't ask to be saved. But he had God in his life. But they later on in life had a child. So maybe that was God's reason to why you didn't die that day. You suffered and lost a leg, but you're still here on earth to be a father to your daughter.
You're still alive. So, hey, like, be grateful for that. Smiling more can definitely bring you self-confidence, because when you smile, I feel like it almost is like a ripple effect. Because like when you smile at somebody, they always more than likely will smile back at you, unless they're a miserable person and they hate their life. In which case you shouldn't take it personal.
That's why I'm so happy that we're able to take the masks off, because I can see people's face.
I was just going to say the same thing, that like now that they finally lifted the mask mandate, I've been able to go into stores and smile at people, and people have actually been able to smile back at me, even though I am like one of the only people who still don't wear a mask. I hope that anyone who struggles with self-confidence was able to take some of our tips today and apply them into their own lives. I hope that the things that we said kind of you can relate to them. And I just hope that you're able to gain some self-confidence through this podcast. You know, just smile more, be more positive, don't talk negatively about yourself, exercise, eat right, and put on some makeup. Dress up nice, get your nails done, make yourself feel pretty. It boosts your self-confidence.
And all you candid mamas and fathers out there, you are beautiful and you are loved by somebody. So you definitely need to listen to these people that are telling you positive things in your life, and don't let the negative bring you down.
All right, ladies, we had a great time talking to you guys tonight for our all new Tell All Tuesday, and we'll see you guys again for a new episode on Friday. Have a great week.
Don't forget to follow us, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications at Candid.Motherhood on Instagram and Facebook.
Hello, Candid Mamas, and welcome. You're listening to the Candid Motherhood podcast with Roxy
and Jackie,
where we tell you all about the ins and outs of motherhood.
We share our own life experiences to prepare you for the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes along with parenting.
So grab your coffee,
sit down,
get comfy,
and enjoy today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to Candid Motherhood Podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please subscribe, share, and rate our podcast.
If you have any ideas for future episodes or want to learn more about us, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Candid.Motherhood and on Twitter at CMotherhood.
We appreciate your love and support. Until next time, thank you, Candid Mamas.